Thank you very much, Your Honor. Open access is encouraged by NTC, but normally kasi in an environment like the Philippines, where you have two major telcos, one or the other will not allow the other to use the facility of one. And what happens is the smaller players are the ones using the facilities of the bigger players. So ito rin nangyayari as of now. Of course, in other countries there is an open access, but in other countries, most of these countries, ang meron hong investment ang gobyerno na napakalaki. That's the reason why they have the open access regulations in their jurisdictions.
Sir, you said encourages, not mandates. At kung may investment man ng gobyerno tulad ng Vietnam, halimbawa, halos sila nagpagawa ng mga tower, hindi ba? At tayo wala naman. Hindi ba may tuturing na napakalaking investment ng pamahalaan dito sa dalawa at kung sakasakali sa papasok na third telco player? Yung pagmamayari ng Estado sa frequency at bandwidth at spectrum na kanyang ibibigay, igagawad ng libre pa nga eh. Dahil kahit na anong tower nila, hanggat wala silang frequency, spectrum at bandwidth, aanhin naman po nila yung tower. So again, can that not be the basis for government to mandate it and not simply encourage it? Sir, at the end of the day, we want more players. We want competition to flourish so that the prices will come down. Diba, yung mga objective, kaya gusto ng Pangulo to, diba, na marating yung mga lugar na hindi nararating, magkaroon ng competition talaga para bumaba yung presyo at hindi yung sila-sila lang nag-uusap, sila-sila lang yung mayaman. Can it not be mandated instead of merely encouraged, sir? Yes, Your Honor.
There is a legislative measure being taken up. I think it has passed the House of Representatives already. The bill on open access. It would be better if it is mandated by law, Your Honor. It can be mandated by the law, but subject to challenge. So it may be better if there is a law, and we are hoping that that law will be passed soon.
And you encourage the passage of that law?
We supported the law, the measure, Your Honor.
In the meantime, Attorney Cordova, can the NPC not issue as it has done in the past? Hindi ba, bago makapasa na naman batas, nauuna naman kayo eh. Is it not possible for the NPC to issue such an MC along these lines while we are awaiting that law, since you're endorsing the law?
Yes, Your Honor. We will do that, Your Honor.
May we ask approximately when, sir?
Kung medyo kasi po ito mas malawak than the national roaming, then maybe for the first quarter of next year, Your Honor.
I ask these questions, sir, because you asked the third telco player to deliver on certain commitments. And if not, you can go against their bond, you can file a co-warrant of proceeding against the franchise, and you can take away the CPNC. On the reverse, hindi naman pwedeng one-way lang, dapat two-way. On the reverse, these commitments on the part of government should be delivered to in favor of whomsoever will win in your Excel formula. So can we have that, can we confirm that commitment that these regulations will be issued, among them at the latest will be the first quarter of next year?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if not, sir? Pwede ba sirahin yung bandong third telco? Paano po ang non-compliance niya dahil sa kakulangan ng regulasyon mula sa pamahalaan? Yun basically ang tinatanong ko eh.
Actually, Your Honor, as of now po kasi since wala pa po yun, ay hindi po natin ma-base yung kanilang commitments on that. So, part po ng memorandum circular na ating in-issue is that they should be aware of the regulatory environment and yung kung mag-due diligence sila sa Philippine setting, and their commitment should be based on that. Pero ito pong mga binanggitin nyo ay gagawin din po namin para po makatulong sa kanila.
So, ibig nyo sabihin, dahil sinasabi nyo ngayon, Chairman, na gagawin ninyo yon, kung hindi nyo nagawa sa maayos na oras, halimbawa first quarter next year, eh, ibabalik niyo yung bond nila.
Hindi po. Ano po? In the memorandum circular, Madam Chair, nakalagay po doon that their commitments are based on the prevailing situation po right now. Pero of course, we will do our best to improve it. Pero yung po kanilang commitments is based on the...
So they will not, okay, so to
Yes.
clarify, obviously they will not get their bond,
Yes.
but then you also will endeavor
Yes.
to make sure that those, that particular, those provisions will be passed by the first quarter next year.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
One last point, Madam Chair. You're following a formula via an Excel file using presumably an algorithm. Now, marami nang matalino sa mundo, ang daling i-analyze ng algorithm. Paano kung lahat ng 8 bidder sinagad at minaximize yung pwede? How many possible permutations are there? And isn't it possible for a tie to ensue? Because again, it does not involve any human intervention or discretion. And as you said, even if they go beyond the range that you suggested, it won't be counted anymore. I'm not a mathematician, but is it possible na magkapare-pareho sila, i-maximize nila yung pwedeng magawa? At
Yes.
paano pag bola yung sinabi nila? Halimbawa, kaya naming i-roll out 80 billion agad, which we know is impossible given the current problems with getting permits with LGU, with getting the land, whether leased or bought. Paano pag gumawa sila ng pangako that's unrealistic, which the Excel file might not be able to recognize? How is that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. The only way that they will have a tie when all of them will, or two, will maximize their points, no? So that's the only way, Your Honor, because kung hindi ho maximize, then there must be some hindi sila magtatay. And then ito po yung talagang unrealistic na ho, yung only purpose is to derail the whole thing, no? And of course we are ready for that.
How will you know that, sir, if there's no human intervention? I mean,
No, sir. Yung kanilang proposal mismo, for example, sabi nila, on the first year, I'm going to have 50% of the country
covered.
Yes, covered. And that is, yun nga po, that is the maximum for the first year, 50%.
So what if all 8 said, first year, 50% kami? What if all of them said, 55 Mbps? Again, as you said earlier, any bid in excess of the range won't deserve any points.
Well, we
So what
will,
if sinagad nilang lahat?
may possible, Your Honor. Sige.
Your Honor, naisip na rin po namin na gano'n po ang pwedeng gawin. So, meron po kaming tie-breaking mechanism based on 7.4C6 of the Memorandum Circular. Nakalagay po dito, where 2 or more participants tie for the highest points, the following tie-breaking formula shall be observed. The highest value for each selection criteria in each year among the tie participants shall serve as the denominator against which all commitments shall be divided for the year. So yun po pinakamataas, siya po ang magiging denominator. The resulting value shall be multiplied with the weight of the respective criteria and the weight of the applicable year. The participant with the highest aggregate points for the entire commitment period shall be declared the NMP. And so on, ano po yun. In the event of another tie, after the application of the preceding paragraph, the participant with the highest score in the first 2 years, utilizing the same formula, and in case there's still a tie, the participant with the highest score in the first 2 years, and so on po. So medyo, medyo, Your Honor, medyo mabigat po at imposible na magkaroon po ng tie.
So sa permutation yung yan, kaya nang i-break anuman tie na pwedeng gawin kung pinag-aralan nila yung algorithm o permutation o formula na ginagamit nyo sa Excel nyo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Madam Chair, can we recognize baka mas magaling siya sa math?
Mr. Gala, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Unang-una po, mathematically impossible na magkaroon ng identical na results dun sa Form A unless pare-pareho po ang mga lugar na i-commit ng mga bidder. That's the only way po. The reason po kasi out of yung 42,000 barangays nandun sa Form A na kailangan i-fill out, hindi naman po pare-pareho yung number of population in those barangays. Therefore, kung hindi iba-iba kung saan sila naglagay ng committed area for year 1, iba po yung population coverage automatically na mangyayari po dun sa year 1 ng isa.
Sir, it's a question of population eh. If you look at Globe and Smart, they're all in Metro Manila, they're all in Cebu, they're all in Bacolod. They're not in the far-flung municipalities where the population is low. So if I will be the third telco player, I know that too. And I will of course go with the highest density first. So most likely, tutugma ho ng konti yun. Kung hindi man, halos eksakto kasi yung alam ng isa, alam din ng iba. Kaya tinatanong ko kanina, diba, may missionary points ba? Pag naglagay ba sila ng site o ng signal sa area na wala ngayon, na hindi sinaserve ng dalawa, kasi yun naman ang habol natin sa third telco eh, na maservisyon din yung mga lugar na hindi sinaservisyon ng dalawa. They're playing cutthroat competition in the usual areas na maraming traffic. But not in areas na maliit yung traffic. So if I'm a knowledgeable third telco player bidder, I would also know where to put it.
Madam Chair, tama po si Senator. NCR consists of 12% ng buong population ng Pilipinas. Pero itong 12% po kaya pong kontrahin kung papasok sila sa, for example, sa Region 2, southern part ng Region 2, southern part ng Region 1, northern part ng Region 3, and so on. Kaya pong mag-build ng equivalent na 12 million, which a lot of these places po, I must point out, are still missionary areas. One example would be, for example, Natividad in Pangasinan. May signal po sa poblasyon, pero paglampas niyo po ng about 3 kilometers, wala na pong signal. So, yun yung mga areas na, tulad po ng sinabi ni Senator Cheese, na pwedeng unahin, pwedeng ikunin doon mathematically yung panlaban doon sa competition ng 12 million kung NCR ang pupunteriyahin.
Kaibahan na lang sa NCR, wala ng bundok. Sa probinsya, pag naglagay ka sa poblasyon, hindi mo mararating yung barangay 3 kilometers away dahil may bundok sa pagitan nila. Kailangan mo ng panibagong cell site. Buti sana kung patag lahat. Yung Natividad, malamang patag. Dahil isa sa rice granary natin yan. Pero sa karamihan ng mga lugar, mas maraming kapital ang kailangan mo para ma-cover mo. In municipalities with a population of let's say 10,000 or 20,000, economies of scale will catch up with them. And I don't think it's economically viable for them to actually do that. In fact, one of the things we're looking at on the common tower, sir, is, again, ayokong isa lang mag-invest eh. Kasi in a perfect world, let the LGU invest on the tower. Di ba? Kasi nasa interest niya na magka-signal yung lugar niya eh. So why won't the LGU engage in it when under the local government code they can engage in a local economic enterprise and offer it for lease to any telco player who might want to put up a cell tower there, a cell tower there. Di ba? So sana mas malawak ngayon, mas maganda eh. Kahit sinong LGU gusto na may signal yung kanyang lugar, bakit ba hindi? So in that sense, I will trust your mathematical computation, sir, na imposibleng mag-match. But it was just a concern because there will be no human intervention. So if it's a machine, it's possible, however remote it may be, na magkakatay talaga eh. And by your analysis, Attorney Cordova, with your tiebreaker schemes, no chance na magkatay.
Medyo napaka-imposible, Your Honors. But just in case po, we will adopt, kunwari po pagkatas ng matapos sa dulo, meron pa rin ganon, we will adopt the 9184 provision.
And if it fails, meaning you went after the bond, you filed the co-warrant case, you took back your CPCN, we go through this process all over again after a year or two that the third telco player failed. Is that correct?
Fail, yes, Your Honor.
Back to square one tayo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Nais ko lang marinig kasi yung dalawang major player ng mga telecommunications companies, yung concern nila sa mga narinig nila ngayon ng mga diskusyon natin. Pero siguro dun sa NTC, matanong ko, no? Yung iba kasi dito, maaaring magagandang ilagay nila sa bid when it comes to certain numbers, how much their capital will be, etc. But track record is also important. Like for example, I think one of them here, has rolled out the self-service in Myanmar or other areas that are even not as modern or not as advanced as us, but they're quite successful there. Sabihin na natin mas konti tao doon, pero mas remote din yung mga areas. How are you going to weigh that balance between the algorithm? Paano mo babalansin yun? Yung algorithm o yung kung ano yung pipiliin ng computer, no? At yung tunay na reputasyon ng isang kumpanya sa pamamagitan ng mga trabaho na napatunayan na nila sa ibang lugar. Paano ko ang biglang manalo dito dahil ang gaganda nga ng nilagay ay isang kumpanya na para talagang medyo kaduda-duda. Paano natin ibabalansin yun?
Yes, Your Honor. There are local companies, Your Honor, no? PTNT, Now, and others that have already rolled out some infrastructure. Pinakamalawak yata is yung Converge, for example, if I may say so, has already about more than 7,000 kilometers of that fiber, and PTNT I think has 16,000 or something. So ito yung pagpasok ko nila, paglagay sa computation nila, itong mga kumpanya ito will have big coverage on the first year, on the second year, and even on the third year, no? Because mayroon na silang ginawa po, no? Compared to others na talagang wala pa talaga silang infrastruktura. So dito, that's why we're saying na almost impossible na magkakaroon ng tayo, no? Kasi there are now local companies who are participating na may roll out na sila na they can put in their bidding document. Ito, naka-roll out na kami sa mga barangay nito, and therefore they will be accredited to those present roll-out that they have. Kahit na wala silang 10 years experience, at least sa last 5 or 6 years, nakapag-roll out na sila. No? So ito ay malaking bagay sa kanila that they can put in their bidding documents that they are actually now covering these barangays in the first year, second year, and third year. So you know ang no?
That will be recognized by the algorithm?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, lalagay lang po nila na we have these barangays already. Mayroon na kami point of presence in these barangays.
Who is raising their hand from Now Telecom ba?
PTNT.
Okay, PTNT first, very short, and then Now Telco.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. First, we would like to point out that PTNT has a lot of facilities nationwide, including building sites and towers, and we are willing to put that into the common tower policy, so that's to have the entire entity. Second is we don't see any problem with the points in the tie breaking. Definitely, there will be a tie at the first round, as pointed out by Senator Escudero. The tie-breaking formula will not allow a third tie to happen. Lastly, I'd just like to point out that we have requested NTC to review and study the fact that PTNT, being a corporation that has started since 1962, more than 50 years of operations, that has been providing the first nationwide data transmission network in the country. Remember, in the provinces, we have also a switch point-to-point, WebEx, we have public calling offices, and we still have our operations nationwide, not just broadband today. So the company definitely, given its experience, not just in providing broadband, but also mobile and radio with our radio stations. We know the country very well. We know where to put up the facilities necessary, and definitely we can roll out within the time frame as provided by government. Thank you.
Now Telco, please.
My name is Jose Bernas. I represent Converge, not Now. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Converge.
So if I may, what I'd like to do is to address the questions of Senators Escudero and Senator Poe in an integrated manner. To Senator Escudero's point about a tie, I think that is exactly what's going to happen. Every bidder will make sure that they obtain the maximum points. It would be ridiculous not to. So from a gaming point of view, that's what's going to happen. But Chairperson Cordova has described a tiebreaker mechanism. In simplified way, the tie-breaking mechanism will look at the commitments that are in excess of the maximum levels for which the points will be awarded to. So, for example, on the threshold for capital and operating expenses, it's 240 billion. In excess of that, there will be no more points. But when a bidder commits to spend more than that, it is the excess that will be considered in the tiebreaker. So Mr. Garcia is correct. On the first round, there will be a tie. On the second round is when the tiebreaker comes in. What we believe, and I think maybe that's also what Mr. Garcia is trying to say, and to the point raised by Senator Poe, there is no qualitative evaluation that will intervene into the selection process. A simple mathematical evaluation of the excess of those points, whether that's reasonable or not, or appropriate for what we need is the question. For example, in our view, and we've validated it with other parties, the CapEx and OpEx threshold of 240 billion is very much in excess of what is actually going to be needed. So if a bidder, let's say, proposes to commit 300 billion, that is actually a lot more money that's going to be required. So to use that as a basis for breaking a tie may or may not be reasonable. And to the point of, and perhaps a qualitative evaluation, let's say, of Filipino consortium members who have already demonstrated the ability to deliver, whether it's 5 years or 10 years, as Secretary Rio has said, is probably more appropriate. Unfortunately, that qualitative assessment is not provided for in the mathematical determination. Finally, to the point raised by Senator Escudero about performance, the rules require a performance